me being from Bucket West, we had problems with another side of town. We did things to them, they did things to us, and I got caught up, went to trial. But before that, my right-hand man was in their hood. I went down for one of them. I was on the run for a year. When they finally got me, I went to trial. I didn't want to take nothing they was giving me. I lost trial. They gave me 30 years with 18 years to serve.
Ain't got a moment when they see you down, just know they love it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a special guest with me today. Why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself?
I go by the name of WELLKNOWN. I'm from Rhode Island, rapper. I'm on Instagram, WELLKNOWN 1230, YouTube, just WELLKNOWN, Snapchat, WELLKNOWN 401, everything just WELLKNOWN,
Mm-hmm. So how long you been doing music for now?
I've been doing music since I was like 15. I've been like 15 years old, yeah. Just me and a couple of my people, but
okay.
It's really just me.
Okay.
I don't really got a team like that. I got people I deal with, but I don't really got my own team.
So it's tough to tell your age just by looking at you. So, I mean, how long has that been? Since 15? 20 years?
I'm 38 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're the same age. All right.
38, yeah.
So what made you want to get into music?
Just a lot of people in my neighborhood doing music, plus growing up listening to music, listening to all types of music and stuff. And there were studios around where I'm from, so I just started hitting the studio and just started doing music. I didn't take it serious at first, but then I started taking it serious, I want to say around 18, 19. That's when I really started taking it serious.
What's your favorite part about doing music? That's
my craft. Like, it's art to me, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's on my mind, whatever I got to get off my chest, I put it, that's what I write down. I ain't going to say write down, I use my phone now.
Yeah.
I don't even, you know what I'm saying? So I get to express myself, you know, and people get to hear me, and most of the stuff that I talk about is real deal shit. Like, I ain't bullshit, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it could be, it's therapeutic. I mean, even just listening to it's therapeutic, but then writing it, jotting it down, performing it, putting it on paper. I mean, it must feel good to like get certain stuff off your chest, and it's like an outlet in a way. And why do you think it's important for people to have at least some sort of outlet, be it music or the gym, whatever it may be? Why do you think that would be important for people, or do you think it's not important?
I mean, I think it's important. If there's something that you love to do, go for it. Some people like to play ball. Some people like to go to the gym. I like to rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important.
Absolutely.
Definite.
So why don't you tell the people like where you grew up and what that environment's like, for people who may not know? Like,
well, I was born in Providence. Grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I grew up over there, Main Street, West Ave area, Jefferson. It was always quiet, but you have your problems for the most part. There's always problems everywhere,
for sure.
There's hoods everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But there was problems coming up, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing too serious, fighting, nothing serious until later on. When I got older. As a young boy, it wasn't nothing really serious. Yeah.
Okay, so how's the city broken up? Is it certain neighborhoods?
So now it's different now. It's certain neighborhoods. So me, I'm from Pawtucket. I'm from Bucket West. We call Pawtucket Bucket. So I'm from Bucket West, and then you got Bucket East. Bucket West and Bucket East don't fuck with each other at all. Like, it's problems, like real deal problems. They know, like, real problems.
And is this something that's new, or is this something that's how it was for you growing up? It was always problems?
Coming up, I'm from the West, but coming up, I always rubbed elbows with the whole Pawtucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really had too many problems with a lot of people on the other side like that, you know what I'm saying? I always try to keep it neutral, but as I seen a few of my people getting involved, then that's how you basically get involved. It's like you gotta choose a side, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing serious. Even like today, I'm 38 years old. Fuck, I look like beefing with you dudes for. I'm trying to chase the bag.
I hear you.
If it comes my way, then it is what it is. But I'm chasing the bag, man.
Was there one public high school, or does East Side, West Side have different high schools? How does that work?
So on the West Side, you got Shea High, and then on the East Side, you got Tolman.
Okay.
But what they're trying to do is they're trying to put just one high school and put it all in one, and they think that will stop the problems.
Right.
Which I think is the stupidest idea. I don't think that's gonna stop nothing at
It
all.
might just make more problems.
Yeah, I think it'd be more problems. Yeah.
So why don't you talk a little bit about like what your household was like growing up, man? You got any siblings? Did you have both parents in the house?
So coming up, when I was younger, like real young, I had my mom and my dad. We started off, we was in the east side of Providence. I had my mom and my dad. When we came to Pawtucket, I still had them for a little bit, but most of the time, I want to say till probably to 8, 9, I went with my father to Pawtucket. I was with my mom in Providence till around 8, 9 years old. Went with my father in Pawtucket. So my dad kind of raised me. When I was 15, I was getting into too much trouble in Pawtucket. Went back to Connecticut with my mom for like a couple years. Then I came back. I mean, they both raised me. I don't have a lot of memories of being with both of them in the household, but you know, mom's was doing her thing. You know, my dad was doing his thing. They both did a good job. You know, they both raised me.
Brothers and sisters, are you the oldest?
I got so I got an older brother. I'm the third one. I got an older brother, 2 older brothers. My brother Duran passed away. He was sick.
Sorry to hear that.
We don't know what it was. He just was always in the hospital. So he passed away. Then I got 3 siblings under me. I got 2 little brothers and I got a little sister.
How old were you when your brother passed away?
Oh man, I want to say in my 20s. No. I was real young. I don't even know the exact age to tell the truth. I don't want to say the wrong age, but I was young.
Do you remember how it affected you?
The last time I seen my brother, I want to say I was probably at my grandmother's house.
Wow.
I was very young. You know, my brother, he couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. Like, every time he would try to talk, it'd be nothing but drool coming out of his mouth. It was like, he couldn't really say much. Most of the times we seen him, we would go to the hospital or go to his foster care and see him like that. So it was a tough time seeing him like that. Seeing my mom and seeing my dad go through what they went through and stuff. For me, I was a little younger, so it was kind of hard for me to understand the way they would, but it was tough on the family, definitely.
I mean, looking back, what kind of effect do you think that had on your parents? Like, did someone turn to drinking after? I mean, it's got to be such a tragic thing.
I mean,
I know you were young at the time.
I think it was a crazy effect. I mean, my mom, you know, my mom was drinking. My mom she was on drugs. I mean, I feel like it affected the whole family because, see, it wasn't only my brother. I got 3 other cousins that passed away for the same thing. Wow. And we never figured out what it was. Wow. So I think, my mom, she went through her thing, you know, when I was living with her in Providence and stuff, you know. But my mom's straight now, you know, that was back in the days when I was younger. My mom's clean, my mom don't drink, nothing. My mom just be chilling now, but I know she went through her thing. I don't know how much she went through because I was little, but my mom went through things just like everybody else did. My father, he was in Pawtucket at the time. That's when I left with my father to Pawtucket, you know, and I've been staying with him since junior high. Yeah.
I mean, I can relate. My mom, you know, she still struggles with addiction. It's something that you're going to struggle. You know, she's sober now, but, you know, it's a struggle for the rest of her life. But, you know, my dad, he was away in prison till I was 10. So, like, growing up, where you're from, your family even, was that something that was common? Did you have like uncles or any family members getting locked up that you remember as a child?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually locked up with one of my uncles. Wow. I was locked up with one of my uncles in minimum. My uncle that I brought with me today, he been locked up. You know, my dad been locked up for a few months. My little brother, you know, he just came home not too long ago. He's only 22, 23. He just came home not too long ago,
Yeah. Do you feel like growing up and seeing people coming in and out of jail kind of desensitizes it and it almost normalizes it and it part of your culture, like, oh, my uncles did, so it's not like if I get locked up, but when, or how do you think that works?
I mean, it's fucked up to say, but nowadays when you're in the streets, it's like it's normal. People that's in the streets doing their thing, it's like they're expecting to go to jail. You got the young boys, they don't even care. They feel like going to jail is gonna earn them stripes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it became the normal. But I mean, I'm not trying to ever go back in
Yeah.
that motherfucker. I don't care how tough motherfuckers think they are. I'm all set. Like, I like shitting when I want to shit, eating when I want to eat. I love, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but it's tough.
So I like to talk a little bit about what school was like for you growing up. Like, you know, you got a lot of stuff going on at home, and a lot of times that, you know, affects you, the student. So how were you as a student? Like, did you have good grades? Did you take to the work well? And what about behavioral issues? I know you said you bounced back and forth. So
when I was with my mom in Providence, we was living in the West End, Chapin Ave, Ellery Street. I was tough as a kid, you know. I mean, I was stealing a lot from my mom, my aunts, like stealing money, buying the whole neighborhood ice cream and stuff. Like, never knowing corners with the police. I was young. I was a little kid. Being with my father in like junior high, I always had good grades. I always had good grades, but that's when the problem started. When I started, you know, 13, 14, 15, started rolling with a crowd, started living that gang life, beefing with this one, beefing with that one. It started when I was living in Pawtucket. When I was in Providence, I was too young. It wasn't really nothing much going on. I was just going to school, being bad, doing what a young, hard-headed kid to do, you know?
Right. So before the street stuff, though, in school, was there detentions and suspensions and behavioral issues? Because, I mean, you know how it is. Not everybody gets suspended, you know, gets suspended as smart people in class. I mean,
yeah, I never really got suspended like that.
Okay.
Probably like 1 or 2 times. I never really got in trouble like that in school.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite subject in school at all?
Yeah, I liked math.
Math? What was it about math that you liked so much?
I just like, you know, numbers. At first I sucked at it, you know. I used to, like, I didn't like it at first, but then I got better at it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know why I liked it so much, but I definitely liked it. Today, I can't stand it. I work in the school. And I don't like math.
Yeah.
No.
That's funny you say that, because I like math too a little bit. I like that nothing's open for interpretation. You're either right or you're wrong. So eventually you get to high school, right? And then things start happening in the streets. Is that something that trickles into school, or is it just something that's on the street? How did it affect your high school years, or junior high?
I would say just something that happened in the streets. I don't think it really had nothing to do with school. So when I went to Shea, my freshman year, I played football. But as I'm playing football for high school, I'm also in the streets. I'm going to school high, I'm going to football games high, practice high. I'm leaving school, and in order to get to my house, you gotta go through the Ave, the strip, you know, where we used to be at. So I was parlaying with my boys. We shooting dice, we smoking weed, we doing all types of stuff, doing a whole lot of illegal shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back to school my sophomore year at Shea. I wasn't gonna go to school. Like in the middle of the school year, I ended up going to school in Connecticut when I went back with my mom, but I dropped out quick, came back, and just been in the streets.
Did you end up getting your high school diploma, GED, or
I ended up getting my GED when I caught 30 years with 18 years to serve, and I did my GED then.
How old were you first time you had, you know, pretty much got arrested? You first case.
Time,
Did you catch juvenile cases? Did you do the juvenile
Never been
thing?
in training school.
Okay.
Never.
So just as an adult?
Yeah, just as an adult, yeah. I'll never forget, my Aunt Mommy told me, if you ever come to training school, I'm whipping your ass. She worked there.
Yeah,
She knows all my friends from being in the know, so I was ducking her.
I was ducking her. What's the first case? Was it a serious case?
Oh, no, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, stuff like that, you know. Hold me for about 2 weeks. Second time around, 30 days, 60 days, little shit. Yeah.
Did you ever end up on some sort of probation or anything?
Yeah, they gave me like a year filing or 5 and 5 probation, stuff like that, yeah.
And how were you as on probation? Is that something you ever completed?
When I was on probation early on, I violated once. I violated probation, violated bail, did about 7 months, yeah.
Okay. So talk about the first time you get like a significant amount of time. And what's that like? Like what? I guess what's the events that kind of lead up to everything, and what happens?
So the first, because before I did my bid, the most time I ever did in jail was 7 months.
Okay.
And that was like a assault on a police officer. I did 7 months for that. Now when I caught the case 30 years with 18 to serve, that was problems that we had. Like me being from Bucket West, we had problems with another side of town. We did things to them, they did things to us, and I got caught up, went to trial. But before that, my right-hand man he was in their hood. I went down for one of them. I was on the run for a whole year. When they finally got me, I went to trial. I didn't want to take nothing they was giving me. I lost trial. They gave me 30 years with 18 years to serve. And I came home, third shot parole. I did 8.5 on the 18. And I just got off parole in April.
Okay.
Right now, I still got hella probation over my head.
Okay, so that first time you get 7 months, where do you do your time at? And kind of, I guess, this is in Rhode Island?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you break down the system in Rhode Island, right? Is there county, state? How's it work? Trial, sentence, different blocks, different jails?
You got the intake. You sit in the intake, waiting trial, waiting to be sentenced. That's, intake's probably the worst building to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there for 2 years. You don't leave there until you're sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
So when I caught my 7 months, I sat there I caught the 7 months quick. I sat there for like a month, then they shipped me right over the minimum.
Okay.
Minimums for little bids.
Yeah.
If you catch 10 years, you got 1 left, they'll ship you over the minimum, you got good behavior. For my 8.5 years, I did it all in maximum security. So you got minimum, you got the intake, you got minimum, and you got max. No, you got medium 1 and you got max. They had medium 2, but they shut that down. Okay,
I want to talk about that first time, right? You go to the minimum, you're short on time, right? 7 months, not too much time. Did you have a plan for when you got out? Did you plan to get a job? What was your mind state? You still just I'm 100% still kind of devoted to the streets and what's going on here? I guess talk about what's your mindset when you're about to come home?
Well, I didn't have no plan at all. My plan was to come home and get back to business. And when I mean back to business, hustling, beefing with motherfuckers, that's all. I was young.
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't care about no job, none of that. Only job I had was when I was in jail getting $1 a day, $2 a day. I didn't care about none of that. My plan was to come home and get strictly back to business. Okay. That's what the plan was.
Do you think the 7 months, do you think that wasn't enough time? Do you think you would have been the same if you initially got maybe 7 years? Or why do you think you just weren't ready? What do you think that is?
I mean, one, I was young.
The age, yeah.
I did the 7 months, and when I was doing the 7 months, I was still in minimum fighting, going at it with people. So, and I didn't have nobody to tell me to fall back. Coming up, I didn't have an OG like that to tell me, do this, do that. I didn't really have that like that.
Is that East and West Side thing, is that something that overflows into the jails and prison too?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you're from the West or you're from the East and you're running into each other in jails, it's going down.
It's on site.
It's going down. Even if you're from the West but you're not on that time, or you're from the East and you're not on that time, they're gonna check you out. Right. They're definitely gonna check your temperature, see what time you're on. That's a fact.
Yeah, you might end up as collateral damage.
Yeah, right? Because a lot of the times you're just from there. You don't have nothing to do with nothing, and they'll still try to whip that ass.
Okay, so this whole time, how serious are you taking the music now, right? You're in the streets, you get locked up, you're writing while you're locked up, you get out. Are you still taking the music as serious as you should? Or is it kind of take a backseat to the streets? No,
I was taking it serious. So when I was on the run, I dropped a mixtape called On the Run Volume 1.
Okay.
And that shit was going crazy. Right. We just didn't have the platforms we had now. It was going crazy, real crazy. And then I got locked up. But when I got locked up for the 18 years, after 6 months, there was no indictment. So they released me. When they released me, I'm going hard with the music, but eventually I lose from the streets, eventually. Okay. So I go back in. But when I came home, taking it very serious.
How long was it in between when you get out from the 7 months and then when you catch this other case? How long were you on the streets before you caught that case that got you that time?
2000. So the 7 months I want to say was 2000. 2005, 2006. It was probably like a 3-4 year span. Because I got jammed up February 2009 when I caught the big bid. Yeah, February 2009.
Okay, and eventually you do get indicted on that?
Yep, first they held me 6 months. I came home for like 4 months. Was on the run again. They got me and they got indicted right away. Yeah.
And what was the charge?
The charge?
Well, charges, I know they...
The charge, they got me possession of a firearm, firing in a compact area. First they tried to get me with attempted murder, but it went down to ADW, assault with a deadly weapon. And then bullshit, possession of marijuana, disorderly conduct, stuff like that, yeah.
And do you get a paid lawyer for this? And did you have any co-defendants, or was it just
Nah,
you?
it was just me.
Okay.
And at first I had a lawyer. I had a couple lawyers, like 2-3 lawyers. I didn't feel like they was getting the job done, so I ended up getting a public defender. Definitely wasn't getting the job done.
Yeah.
So then I got another lawyer and I just stuck with him.
Okay. And so you wait in trial, and you do end up taking this case to trial?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what was your confidence level like going into trial, and talk about what that trial experience was like?
I mean, the main reason why, it wasn't about me having confidence with the trial. The main reason why I went to trial, because my lawyer came up to me and tried to tell me they're trying to give me 100 years. He showed me the paper and everything. I'll never forget. Wow. So I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, 100 years? This guy got shot 2 times. One in the back, one in the eyes. Wow. I know guys that are in jail for murder that ain't even getting no time like that.
Right.
Like, are you serious? Like, he got shot 2 times. We talk about
That's
50,
crazy.
100 years. I said, what the hell could they do to me in trial?
Yeah, right.
I said, I might as well go to trial. So that's the main reason why I went to trial. If they would have came with a deal that I liked, I would have took that deal. One thing, like, anyone that been in jail in Rhode Island know not to play with them folks. Yeah. No.
Why do you think that was? Why so much time? They're trying to make an example out of you, everything that's going on? Is it big, like high profile, that whole beef on the streets? Why do you think?
I don't know. They had me as like the leader of the gangs. They would have my picture up top, all the other guys. I don't know. They had me. They painted a funny picture of me. They were saying things about me that wasn't true. Yeah. Like, they made me really look like a monster. Okay. Yeah.
So then you get the trial, right? You get did you pick a jury, or was it a bench trial?
Yep, we picked a jury. Okay,
so then you start the trial, right? What's like their main, like, do they got a main witness? Did the victim testify? What's the trial look like?
They have 3 main witnesses. Yeah, they had 3 main witnesses. They had 2 girls, and they had the victim.
Okay, so the victim did show up, and
yeah, he showed up.
So even having the victim showing up, right? I mean, you still, I mean, obviously they're offering 100 years, so you take it to trial. But like, what was like your lawyer's approach? Did they try to destroy maybe his credibility? Did he have a record, or what was the approach going into trial?
So he tried to destroy the victim's credibility. He brung up how when they found him on the floor, how there was 14 rocks in his rectum. Yeah. Okay. He talked about that. He talked about how dude been in jail for drugs before. Like, he tried to make dude look bad. Yeah, definitely.
So when your lawyer tells you this, they're trying to give you 100 years. Like, what's the conversation with your parents? You got to tell. Did you tell them this is what they're trying to give me? And what's that conversation like, man?
He told my mom first. My mom was heated. My mom, she blows things out of proportion. I told my mom, that ain't possible. I said, that's some bullshit. Dude got shot 2 times. They're talking about 100 years. Like, that's crazy. Okay. This ain't that type of case. With me and my lawyer, when he came up to tell me, the first thing I told myself is, this motherfucker's getting fired. Like, 100 years, we talking crazy. Yeah,
So then, okay, your lawyer does their thing, the DA does their thing, right? You're waiting. Like, at that point, what are you thinking? Like, are you thinking like, oh man, I'm fried? Or are you thinking you got a chance to beat this after all the, closing arguments, everything's out there?
I'm stressed out. Yeah. I'm in the cell, I'm in intake, I've been there 2.5 years. I'm stressed out. A lot of people from the streets ain't rocking with me like that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of my guys ain't fucking with me. I had a couple female friends, my mom, my dad, family members taking care of me, but I'm stressed out. In my mind, I'm like, if they're talking about 100 years and I lose trial, what they gonna give me? But then I started going to the law library. I had my charges. And when I went to the law library and I seen that the ADW only holds up to about 10 years, and then the gun that I got, that they had, that only holds up to about 10 years or 5 to 7, or something like that. So once I seen that, and that was my main charges right there, the first thing that pops in my head is, well, hold on.
Yeah.
They can only give me a certain amount. So in my mind, I knew that they can only give me 20 or less.
Okay.
So the whole time I'm in trial, I knew in my head that that shit that my lawyer was kicking was some bullshit.
Yeah.
I knew they can only give me 20 or less, and the way I look at it, I didn't really care, because in Rhode Island, you know, they got all the good time. You can get up to 17 days good time.
Oh, okay.
In 1 month, you know what I'm saying?
that's
So
pretty
I wasn't even really tripping like that. I'm like, all right, I'm already here, 2.5 years. I can get out of here in like another 6, 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. They come back. They find you guilty of what? Did they find you guilty of lesser charge? They find you guilty of everything?
They found
And
me.
then what was the sentence?
They found me guilty of the assault with a deadly weapon. They found me guilty with the gun, firing in the compact area and stuff. But, excuse me, when they gave me the sentence, they gave me 10 years on one. They gave me 10 years on the assault with a deadly weapon, and then they gave me 7 on the gun, but they ran it consecutive instead of concurrent. So they gave me the 10, then 7. So I caught 17 years. I had another pending charge from about 4 years ago for a Tech 9 that I had got caught with. They gave me 8 years for that, but they ran that with the 17.
Okay.
So that's how I got the 18.
Okay, so now this time, I take it you don't hit like a minimum right away, right? What's the journey like this time? Where do you go? You get sentenced, you go back to the same facility, you go to a different unit? How does it work?
So you got to go back to the intake. It takes some time for them to classify you. It can take weeks. Sometimes it can take months. They classify you. As soon as they classify you, though, you out of there like a week or 2 later.
Okay.
So they sent me the max right away, yeah.
Okay.
They go by your points, you know, and all the trips you had in jail, they go by your points and they go by your charges and all that. So I went to max, yeah, right away.
Okay, so had you ever gone, like, what's the difference between max, meat, in the medium, for instance, right? Is it more lockdown time? Do you get a yard in both the same, like, what's it like?
I mean, so minimum, you're outside a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's barely, like, fences. Like, minimum, like, guys are really about to leave. You'd be a fool to even try to escape.
Right.
It's kind of open. Max, you get a lot of outside time. Indoor, outside, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say Max is the best building, but the only thing is, summertime comes, it's hotter than the motherfucker. Them blowers they got just blow nothing but hot air. So yeah.
How long do you stay in the max?
I stayed at Max the whole time.
The whole time?
So I did 2.5 years in intake, 6 years in Max.
Okay, so when was the first time that you saw parole?
The first time I seen parole was when I had 6 in. I had 6 years in, yeah.
And they denied you, or they gave it to you first time?
They denied me. They gave me, was it 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. They gave me a 2-year hit.
Okay. Did they tell you why? Did you have any, like, disciplinary reports the whole time? Nothing?
Not at all. Like, when I was in Max, I minded my business.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sit here, you know, people be telling you their stories, like, beat this one up, I did this, I did that. None of that.
Okay.
When I was in there, I played cards, high-low jack, spades. I gambled.
Yeah.
You know, I hustled for mine. I didn't really have much. I hustled.
Okay.
I stayed out the way. You know, I got into a few scuffles, but I stayed out the way.
What about programming and education? Were you able to get into that, and what did you do for that?
GED. I did some a little bit of the what do you call that? The unbound college, whatever you call that. I did a couple classes. I did a lot of programs.
Okay.
I get a lot of good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what point during your bid does your mindset change from the young man who was getting out from the 7 months and just willing to go full blown back into the streets, and to the point where you're like, you know, I'm just minding my business, I'm doing my thing, you know, I'm probably trying to get parole? Like, what changes? Is it just the age? Does something specifically happen? Do you remember when? It
changed immediately. It changed before I even made it to Max, because they had me sitting in intake for 2.5 years, but I seen the people that I thought was gonna be there for me, they wasn't really there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't there. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm out there riding for this one, riding for that one, Ain't nobody, you know, ain't no one checking out. At the time, I got a son. Ain't no one checking out my son like that. No one's really there for me. Like, the fuck am I in the streets, putting my freedom on the line for people? You know, they always say, what they say, bros before hoes and all that.
Right.
I get locked up, and none of my bros was there. You know who took care of me besides family? Females.
Yeah.
Female friends I went to school with, like just friends, not even girls that I had anything with. Female friends came to my visits. You know what I'm saying? Put money on my books. You know what I'm saying? My family members. You know, they took care of me. So once I seen that, I was like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm going home and I'm gonna figure it out. I didn't have a plan yet, but I said I'm gonna figure it out.
Hey, it all starts with that mindset change, man. I'm always interested because I don't have kids. Like, how did you feel like as a father? Is that something that you questioned yourself, like, you know what I mean? What am I doing in here? I got a son. Like, how did you look at that, man? Was there like guilt associated with that, and like what was the relationship like? How like did you get to talk to him?
I mean, when I caught my case, the girl I was dealing with, who had my son with my kid's mom, we wasn't together, and she wasn't even pregnant yet. When I caught my case, me and her wasn't dealing with each other. She ended up getting pregnant when I was on the run. And I tell a lot of people, like a lot of people were saying, oh, well, you know, you had a kid. Why was you out here acting up knowing you had a kid? No, I caught my case before my kid, before my kid's mom even got pregnant. So when I went inside there, I felt fucked up. The main thing was, I'm like, I caught all this time. Is this kid gonna love me when I come home? Because when they gave me 18 years, I'm not thinking of all the good time. I'm not thinking of parole. I'm thinking that I got to do 18 years, you know, because before that, all I did was months. I did jump change. When I start getting in there, going in the law library, talking to people, and they're breaking it down to me, like 18 years, you'll do 8, you'll do 9. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, if you keep your head down and stay out the way, you'll be good.
But at that point, you must have thought, you know, before finding that out, that you're going to miss this kid's whole childhood. I mean, 18 years.
Absolutely. I came home when my son was 8, and that was my biggest fear. My biggest fear was, damn, like, what if he don't love me?
That's soon enough, man. My dad came home when I was 10, and, you know, I saw that he tried to do the right thing moving forward, stayed out ever since, and, you know, that's we got a real close relationship now. So now, you're in there, your first parole comes up. Like, talk about that. How does it work? You go in front of, like, how many people, and then do they tell you right away? What are people telling you leading up to it? What do you got to say? Like, how's it work?
First, you get letters. You reach out to people on the streets to try to get support letters, job letters, try to find a place to stay, just in case you don't have nowhere to go on the bracelet. You get all that, get all your paperwork out the way and all that. They want to make sure you're booking free for 6 months. They want to make sure you got your GED, that you're doing certain classes. But my first shot parole, I knew I wasn't getting it. You know, a lot of people know they're not getting first shot. I'm worried, like, I hope I get a good hit. I hope they don't tell me come back in 4 years, 5 years. There was about probably like 6 or 7 people when I went my first shot. And you got to call, you got to wait about 24 hours. You got to call like the next day. There's a number you could call, or you have your people go online. So I called the next morning, called one of my boys. He told me, yo, they gave you a 2-year hit. But I was expecting that. Okay. So when I got the 2-year hit, I wasn't mad. I was just hoping it wasn't more than 2 years.
It was just part of the process.
So once I got the 2 years, I told myself, if you do what you've been doing, the next hit's not gonna be that much. If you do what you've been doing, and I said, all right. So I said, when I go back for parole, as long as I keep my head down like I've been doing, I'll be straight.
So you go back in front of parole second time. Talk about that. What happens? I
go back second time, and they give me a 90 days. They told me come back in 90 days.
So that must have been a great feeling. 90 days?
Man, they told me, listen, they told me come back in 90 days. Man, listen, I went back to that yard souped. I went back souped. I called home. I called my kid's mom, like, I want to see my son. Because I said, this is it. Yeah. If they give me 90 days, they got to release me. Yeah. Why would they give me 90 days for? I think they was trying to test me with them 90 days, see if I would get jammed up. And that's why I didn't tell a lot of people in jail, oh, they give you tone. I didn't want to tell them because, you know, there's haters in there. There's people in there that'll try to fuck your shit up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now you get this, now your confidence level's going up. Like you said, I mean, they gave you 90 days. They must, you know, it must be a good thing. So at this point, do you start developing like a plan for your release, or what happens with that, right? Do you have to go to a halfway house, or what's the plan? What's everything?
I start the plan right away. As soon as I get to the yard, I made a few phone calls. I talked to a few of my people, and my main thing was figuring out where I was gonna go. So I knew I was gonna go to the Amos house. It's like a halfway house in Providence. So I started reaching out to them. I started getting a letter from them that I can go there. I started getting support letters. I started getting job letters of people saying that they hired me. I did that right away. I didn't waste no time. Yeah.
Why was that job thing important to try to get people, to write you that letter saying that that's work for you? That's
just something that's required.
Oh,
that's something. That's something Parole tells you. Parole.
Yeah, you just picked that up a little bit. On
yeah, Parole. That's just something Parole tells you. Yeah, that's something Parole tells you. They tell you that you need a job. You definitely need a job letter. Yeah.
Okay, so 90 days later, this time you get the parole, right? How long is it between granted parole until you're able to get out?
So after the 90 days, I went back and they gave me a 60-day release.
Okay.
So they told me you get out in November. So I knew. They told me that. I stayed right in the cell. I'm coming out. I don't know. I'm staying in the cell. Absolutely. So I started staying there more. I would go out, but I was low key with it. Yeah. I was trying to get things in order. So when they gave me that 60-day release, so when the 60 days was up, it was all about the Amos house coming to get you now. So it took some time. I was supposed to get out in November. I want to say I got out like December 18th. Okay. I was supposed to get out like the middle of November. Yeah.
And what was the job that you had lined up for you? And was it like a friend? How'd you get it? How'd that work?
What was the job? Yeah, when I first came home, I got a job letter, but there wasn't no job.
Okay.
Yeah, there really wasn't no job. But when I came home, I was on my shit. I did get a job right away. Yeah. Because the Amos host, they help you with that.
Oh, nice.
They help you go online. They teach you how to do interviews. So I started working at Chipotle. I was cooking over there for a little bit. Mind you, I ain't been on the streets for damn near a decade. I didn't even know what the hell a Chipotle was.
Right.
So I started working there for a little bit. I left there. I ended up going to the Nonviolence Institute. I went there, so I can help out young men that was on the path that I was on when I was their age. Wow. I started working there. I've been there for years.
So why was that important for you to do that? It seems like a purposeful thing.
At first it wasn't important. They reached out to me and I'm like, I don't really know. And then I tried it. And then when I tried it, I'm like, you know what, I like this. Like I'll try to help young men, that's going down the wrong path. I mean, they all don't want our help. Some of them to take the help. Can't save everybody, but yeah, I try to help a couple young men. Yeah.
What's your favorite part about doing what you do with that?
I mean, if you could change somebody's life and you know that you did that, like that's my work right there. Like I did that. Like he or she was on the wrong path. But me and my team, we helped them out. And like at the Nonviolence Institute, a lot of good people. And like Lisa, she's a director at the Nonviolence Institute. She helped me a lot. If it wasn't for her, she helped me a lot. I work at a school right now. I'm at the Nonviolence Institute part-time. And I'm at the school as a teacher assistant full-time.
Hey, that's what's up.
But Lisa, she played a major role in that. She always says she didn't. She gives me the credit and says,
being humble.
Yeah, she says it's me that did it, but she played a major part in that. Like she helped me out a lot. She don't understand that though.
Okay, so doing all the time you did, man, talk about maybe like some things you learned about yourself throughout those hard times, man.
Being inside there, man, whew. What I learned about myself. See, so now, how do I say this? So when I was on the streets, dealing with people and stuff, like, I was one of them dudes that I just wanted to be known. Like, I wanted to be out there. I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I felt like I was a leader, but I also felt like I was following motherfuckers on the streets. I was being a follower as a young man coming up, you know, and I just had to learn that, who cares what the fuck people think about you? You know what I'm saying? Who cares what people think about you? Just do you, be you, do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Like, other people's opinion really don't mean nothing. I ain't never been no soft dude. I never been that before, but I gotta do me. I gotta make sure I'm good. You know, I had to learn how to love people from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got love for you, but I just can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do what I'm trying to do. And I'm definitely not trying to do what you're trying to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just had to love people from a distance, man. Like, listen,
I like that.
I'm trying to do new things. You know, you're still in the old. Like, there's no way we can be 38, 39, 40 years old at the corner slinging. We can't do that. No, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Them days are over, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And sometimes you got to do that, you know what I mean? Love people from a distance. I really like that. I look at a lot of people, you know, maybe they're still into certain things, maybe they're not. And I was just like, listen, like, that's still family. It's just like, I'm not really, like you said, from a distance, you know what I mean? We don't hang out, we don't do nothing like that, you know, but
it's all
that's
love,
my brother.
man.
Yeah, that's
it's
still,
all love.
that's still
I just,
bro.
you know, we just can't. They say you're guilty by association, so if you're out there busting guns, doing this and doing that, and I get pulled over with you, or I'm in your music video, what do you think they're gonna think about me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I talk my shit on tracks and all that, but I don't talk crazy like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm guilty by association for being around certain people.
So
you know what I'm saying?
They should respect that. If they don't respect that, they're not your real people anyway,
Absolutely.
man.
Absolutely.
So, you know, a lot of times with movies, even, you know, music to an extent as well, you see a lot of glorification, right, about the criminal lifestyle. Even, like, sometimes, like you said, it's a feather in the cap to come home, you do your prison time. So I like to get, like, why don't you tell the people, like, what are some of the worst parts about prison and that experience?
I mean, I don't like people telling me what to do. Especially, like, you got people, you'll have the gods there that are young. You could be in your 40s, motherfucker, a rookie at 21. You telling me what to do.
Yeah.
You telling me,
no life to live.
Yeah, like, I'm on the shit, and you telling me to stand up for code. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't like shit like that. In Rhode Island prison used to be dangerous back in the days. I ain't saying it's not dangerous right now, but back in the days, it was real dangerous. When I was locked up in there, I mean, there was a few stabbings, you know, fights. There was a few inmates had bros with the guards, with the COs and all that. But as far as me being there, like I said, I stayed out the way. There wasn't really. I lost my grandmother when I was in there. I lost my boy when I was in there. So things like that, it was tough, but it wasn't. I didn't really get into nothing in there like that. You know what I'm saying? I hustled.
Yeah, there you go. So talk about also, like, you know, what effects it has on not just you but family. You know, it's sometimes when we do the bid, it's not just us.
Oh yeah, they do the bid with us. Family does it with us. Like, seeing my mom stressed all the time. My mom used to come to the visits a lot, and she just stressed when you coming home. Like, my kid's mom, like, friends, like, just stressed out because when they read it, it's 30 with 18 years to serve. In their mind, I'm doing the whole 18 years. I know what's going on, but they don't really know what's going on. They don't know about the parole. They don't know about the good times. So they think I'm doing 18 years. Not even. They thought I was doing 30 years, 30 with 18 to serve. So it was definitely tough on the family. It's tough on my kid's mom because, you know, I'm not there to help her take care of my son. My son's about to be 16, so I know it was tough on her, you know, and me and her, we had bad blood because of that, you know what I'm saying? I hated her. But then as time goes by, as I'm in jail, it's like, I really can't hate you. Like, I was 22, you was 20, you're young, you got a baby, you're lost, you don't know what to do. You got family members in your ear. You got friends in your ear. You're going out on the boat. You see couples going out to eat, couples going to the movies, and you want that. You know what I'm saying? So when I looked at it and in that point of view, I'm like, I really can't be mad at her. Like, what can I be mad about? I caught 30 years with 18 to serve. Would I have waited on her?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really can't be mad. You know, long as you're a good mom to my son, that's all that really matters. So all the bad blood we had when I came home, I'm like, I don't even care about what happened. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So talk about some of the things that you've been up to, like, since you've been out. How long have you been out, and what have you been up to ever since?
Well, I went back because I violated my parole for smoking weed. So I've been home for 5-6 years. Yeah, I've been home like 5.
So so you go back now. Like, what's this conversation like when you got to tell or your mom, your son again? Like, I mean, what's going through your head this time, man?
It was a
Wake up call.
yeah, it was a violation of marijuana. They found marijuana in my system. I'm thinking I'll do 30 days. I'm calling home. I'll be home in 30 days. They ended up giving me a year.
Okay.
I did the year, came home, went back to that same halfway house for like a couple months. And then I was good to go. I've been good ever since. Yeah.
So, I mean, you must have known that smoking weed was going to get you violated, or what happened with that?
The crazy thing is, the crazy thing is, I wasn't even smoking weed. I just guess I was around it too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never smoked not one time.
That must have been
I was just around it. Like, it was low. When they got me, they even told me. Like, I remember when they kicked my door in the SWAT team.
That's crazy.
For a dirty urine.
Yeah. And
I'll never forget. Even one of the SWAT guys even said it. He told me to my face, I can't believe they got us over here getting you for a fucking dirty urine. Like, we could have been doing something, getting like somebody that we really need. They got us over here getting you for a dirty urine.
Yeah.
Like,
man,
crazy.
That must have been disappointing to do a whole year for something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's the thing about, probation, man. They don't play around.
Exactly, they don't.
You know what I mean? So that was the last time. So what you been up to ever since? I know you got the job thing, you're doing the stuff with the youth, but talk a little bit about the music as well, what you've been up to with that.
All right, so ever since I came home, I want to leave this out. I came home, I got 2 more kids now.
Okay, congratulations.
I got a 3-year-old daughter, 1-year-old son. As far as the music, I've been going hard lately. You know what I'm saying? But I've been going hard, but I take breaks. But I had a show a couple weeks back, and I seen the feedback with the show a couple weeks back. I seen the numbers go up on social media. So ever since that, I'm like, hold on, I think I got something going here. So I've been going hard. I'm in the studio 24/7. I got a crazy catalog. I got mad music. And now all I got to do is just network. They're going to take more trips, New York, Jersey, Philly, Boston, Cali. I got to take more trips and just network. Okay. Yeah.
So why don't you, I guess, tell the people, that might not know, like, what kind of scene you guys got going on down there in Rhode Island as far as the music.
Also,
and what that's like, and get a little bit into that.
Yeah, right now in Rhode Island, it was the music scene was dead for a little bit. So we figured, me and a friend of mine named he's a rapper. He goes by Fair Price. We figured we'd do a verses in Rhode Island. Okay. Be well-known versus Fair Price. We didn't think it'd be a big deal. Talking shit on social media. We didn't think it'd be a big deal. No. We went there and it was a success. So after that, we got people rapping. Nice. We got people talking. We got a friend of mine. He has his own little brand, Stay Low to Come Up. He sets up shows for us. Like I got another show coming up the 28th in Providence. He got his own little thing going on. There's a couple guys out there that's making noise, dropping singles, dropping albums. But like I said, we got a network. Yeah. We can't. It ain't gonna happen in Rhode Island. I'm smart enough to understand that. A lot of people think it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen in Rhode Island. But like I said, we gotta take trips. Yeah. Sometimes we gotta jump in that car, come to Boston, do a feature with somebody, go to New York, New Jersey, Cali, like down south. We gotta take them chances. You gotta bet on yourself. I was always scared to make them moves by myself. I was always scared. Now I don't care. Yeah. I'm willing to bet on myself now. Like if I gotta spend the money, I'm gonna spend the money because I know spending it, I can get it back. Sometimes you gotta spend the money to get it back. So we gotta, not only me, but me and the Rhode Island rappers, artists, whatever you like to do, we just gotta invest in ourselves and we gotta take trips because, like I said, it just ain't happening in Rhode Island.
Absolutely. I mean, Rhode Island's the smallest state. Yeah. And plus, even Massachusetts, when you start comparing it to New York, Philly, and all that, it's pretty small. So how much are you tuned into, like, the Massachusetts scene? And do you think it's important for, like, not only, Rhode Island, but the whole New England to kind of maybe form one kind of culture and musical culture? Or do you think that's important to, even though each state having its own little identity? I think it's important to come together.
I think it's very important. That's why I shout out my boy that told me about you, my boy D. They was up here, Us Never Them. I shot them out. Like, we got a little New England wave going on right now. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I just went to New Jersey and New York with them, and we did we went to New Jersey and we did like a little a mic drop in New Jersey. We did something over there. But now we're working on like freestyles with like New England artists.
Nice.
I think New England artists should definitely come together. Definite. Like it should have been like that.
For sure.
Definite. Because I think we got a lot of talent. You know, we need to be heard.
So what are you looking forward to the most, like moving forward, and like where do you see yourself in, you know, a few years from now?
With this music, I'm betting on myself. I'm going all in.
Yeah.
As far as music.
Yep.
But you know, sometimes you have plans and sometimes it don't go according to plan, you know. So and I got kids, I understand that. I know if music don't work, it gotta be a different route.
Yeah.
So then I'm just trying to like secure the bag for my children. I work 2 jobs. Within the next 5-6 years, I'm trying to secure a house. God forbid, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but I wanna make sure that my kids got whatever they need, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna leave this earth without my kids having nothing, you know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure they have something. That's more important than anything. I love rap, but my kids are the #1 thing, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get right in order for them to be right. So if that ain't working, I gotta do something else. I gotta make sure that my kids are secured, you know, so they can have something,
What's your favorite part with the music as far as like, is it getting in the studio and recording? Is it performing? What's your favorite part and why?
Everything. I
Okay.
love recording. I love going in the studio to record. You know, I like getting the feedback from the engineers, my people. I love when people's in the studio bopping their head to my shit, knowing I got a banger. The performing, I love performing. I like getting the crowd's attention. I like interacting with the crowd. And it's crazy because in the studio, I'm way more calm. Even in my videos, I'm way more calm. But when it's time to perform, like I understand, like everyone's not gonna know your song. So you gotta get these motherfuckers to like you. You gotta get them to bop their head to your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I love it all. Everything about music, I love it all. But the interaction at a show, that's important, very important. Everyone does it different, but it's important.
Okay. So people get to know you for the music, they're fans, there's stuff like that. Why is it important to come and tell like your life story as far as, how do you think that helps with the music?
I think they gotta know your life story. They gotta know my life story, so when they listen to my music, it makes more sense. Because you can easily listen to somebody and be like, yeah, whatever, he sounds like this one, or he sounds like that. Or it's the same old shit. When they know your story behind it, and then they listen to your shit, they start understanding more. Certain bars that you say in your music, they be like, oh shit, like maybe he said that, he been through that. Like, I try to talk about what I've been through, you know. I don't try to give no BS. So I think they gotta know your story. You have to have a story behind it. They got to be a story behind it. To me, they have to. It just don't make sense if you're just doing music and there's not really a story behind it. Like they got to be a little story. I think so, at least.
And why is it important nowadays too to have these platforms? The SoundCloud, YouTube, even just putting stuff on Instagram. Whereas before, you only really had, you know, BT, MTV, VH1, and then like mainstream radio. Like, what's the cool thing about having all these platforms, and why do you think it's important?
It's very important. They distribute your music for you. Like people that don't know who you are at all, like you DistroKid, Spotify, YouTube. All it takes is for you to go on Instagram or Facebook, go on social media and post your music, and people will hear it. You probably don't think they hear it, but no matter where they're at, they could be far away. People will hear it, and you might catch that one person's attention.
You never know.
Because without that, you definitely got to hit the road. You got to hit the road. You got to bring your CDs, put them in corner stores, gas stations. It's more work. I think with the social media and like DistroKid, United Masters, Instagram, everything, that helps a lot because you get to reach a different audience. You know, we need that because, like I said, without that, you gotta bust more moves. You have to. You ain't got a choice.
So you work with the youth, which I think is great. So like, even say there's some youth watching this, like what's like the main message that you try to convey to your youth, or the main message that you might have for all the youth out there as far as the whole criminal lifestyle, jail, prison, and kind of bouncing back from that, and why they should try to stay out? Like, we tell our story, so hopefully they don't have to go in. But what's the main message?
The main thing I can say is don't believe the hype, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like 9 times out of the 10, your friend's not your friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of the 10, they're only with you because what they can get out of you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of crash dummies out here.
That's for sure.
A lot. But once you go to jail or once you die, fuckers don't care about you. But they're gonna keep mentioning you in songs. They're gonna, if you're in jail, they're gonna keep saying free you. At the same time, they're gonna be getting at your BM.
Right.
Be fucking your old lady. You know what I'm saying? Like the streets is crazy. It's crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucked up. Like the streets don't love us, man. There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? We don't own what neighborhood we own. We don't own none of these neighborhoods. The streets don't. They don't love us at all. There's only 2 things that's gonna happen. You're going to jail, or they're gonna kill you. That shit's overrated.
For sure.
Me working at the Institute, there was a lot of young men that I worked with that they didn't get to see the age of 21 or get to see the age of 18. That's when the trauma comes in with that, with the job. You know, there's a lot of kids that didn't make it there. You know what I'm saying? But don't believe the hype, man. Like, it ain't cool.
Yeah.
It ain't cool like that. You know what I'm saying? It don't last. It never lasts. I lost 2 of my young boys. You know, and they was real young. You know what I'm saying? And I lost. They was young. They both got murdered. You know what I'm saying? And I was just with one of them the night before. You know what I'm saying? So don't believe the hype, man. Like all that.
The streets don't love you
at all. You're in a lose-lose situation. You're not gonna win at all. You know what I'm saying?
So, and besides, like, you know, the music thing and getting you know, more people to watch and to listen, why do you think it's important for you and, you know, the other people who come up here and tell their story in this seat? Why do you think that that's important?
What, to hear our story?
To hear your story. Not just the fans of the music, but for other people who are just out there tuning in, man.
I mean, I think it's very important. Everybody has a different story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think people that's tuning in could take something from me, take something from whoever comes after or whoever you've seen before. They can take gems from all of us and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it can help them because what I went through, I know there's somebody going through it right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I was acting crazy. These people in their 20s, teenagers, they're out there doing the same thing I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I try to tell the young boys all the time, I was your age before. You was never my age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's math,
don't look at me and be like, yeah, right, whatever. Like I said, I was your age before. You was never my age. I know what I'm talking about. I can tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. You know what I'm saying? There ain't really no loyalty out here. If you got 20 friends, probably 2 of them's real. Yeah. Probably 2 of them is loyal.
If you're lucky, right?
If you're lucky. And the crazy thing is, it's gonna be the 2 that you least expect. It's gonna be the 2 that you thought was soft that are really loyal and show genuine love to you. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy how that works.
Always. It happened to me already. I know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You just gotta get yourself out of them situations, you know?
So what are you looking forward to the most now as far as the fatherhood journey? And what are some things you want to pass along as far as gems moving forward with your kids? And what are you looking forward to?
Oh man, that's the best thing I ever did. My 3 kids are my heart, man. They're the best. Like my son, he was playing football. You know, he broke his wrist 2 years in a row. So I signed him up for like a flag football league. We was traveling to colleges, or he was playing. Like that's big to me, just being there, knowing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the stands, knowing that when he's looking around, he sees me. Like, yeah, my dad's here. I gotta show out. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to that. Like my 2 little ones, I look forward to their first day of school.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I look forward to their birthdays. You know, when it comes to my kids, man, like, I can keep going.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna sit here and say I look forward to prom and all that with my daughter. I don't My daughter can stay little right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a rush for her to get big. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, my kids are my everything. Like, and they're simple. I get things from my kids to be the littlest thing.
It's
and
important to have something to look forward to, I think, too, in life in general, and you know, fatherhood and watching your kids grow is
the best. Just saying, thank you, Daddy, I love you. That makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there, I love to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like when my kids ask me for something and I know I can provide it and I know I can spend that time, it makes me feel good. Because like I said, when I was in that cell, I thought my son would hate me, you know. I thought he would want to fight me for not being there.
Wow.
But when I came home, he ran to me like he was with me every day. And once that happened, that's when I knew, I gotta cut the bullshit. I gotta take care of business.
For sure.
This little guy needs me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure I do what I gotta do to make sure he got me. You know what I'm saying?
Fire, fire. I appreciate you coming through. I guess if you had any last words, or if there was something that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you wanted to touch on, here's the opportunity for that.
Not really, man. The only thing I got to say is, like I said, man, in Rhode Island, New England, you know, we working hard, you know. It's well known, every platform, come check me out, you know, and you will be hearing about me soon. You'll be hearing about the team soon. We're about to make some noise. Definite. And shout out to you for having me here.
Thank you.
Definite, man.
And make sure you send me links and everything too that I could link in the description.
Definitely.
And so tell them just one more time the social media where they can find you. Like, what's the main one? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook?
So my Instagram is WELLKNOWN 1230. My YouTube's just WELLKNOWN. My Snapchat, WELLKNOWN 401. Spotify, WELLKNOWN. Apple, WELLKNOWN. Everything's everything's well known, man.
There you go. Manifesting it.
WELLKNOWN. Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you know, the whole world is gonna know at one point and be well known amongst the whole world. Just gotta, you know, keep with it, keep grinding, don't ever stop, bro. I appreciate you coming through. I know I said it a couple times, but I really appreciate it that much that I'll say it a million times. So, and for the people out there, guys, it is what it is. Remember, what's next is what you make it. On that note, this is the Bounce Back Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be dropping all the links in the description for WELLKNOWN. And until next time, thanks again, guys. And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Bounce back and got a moment when they see you down.